guys got your tablets out. Let's see if we remember all the ways to prove triangles congruent. So give me one. Side, side, side. So make your first flap on your, or your, I guess it's your second flap, isn't it? On your foldable, side, side, side. And we abbreviate that as SSS. You can just say, if you want, if that stands for side, side, side. If you know that that's what it means, you don't have to put that part. You can just put the abbreviation, that's fine. Do me a favor, please also write your name. I wrote Mrs. Smacker here. Write your name as well, so we know it's your foldable and it doesn't get lost, okay? All right, give me another way, another part of my flap. Side angle side is another one. And we remember from the tablets last class, where does that angle have to be? In between. It has to be what we call an included angle. Good. All right, give me another one. Angle side angle is another one. I agree. Perfect. And just like with this, the angle in the previous one, this side has to be the included side. I agree. There are a couple more. Angle what? Angle side, I agree. Okay. But angle is not enough. Remember we drew that small one inside the big one and we said they weren't congruent, so that's not true. Those were the four that we went over with the tablets, but if you remember there was one other one that I said that they can talk about. It's called HL. Yeah. So if you would just go ahead for me and put HL at the bottom, that should be the last one that we talk about, okay? Interestingly, that's the exact same order that I had on here. Reading my mind. That's good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have you. We're going to do proof. This is a big unit with proofs actually. But I'm going to draw a picture that is associated with each of these, and I want you to draw the picture part on the bottom part of the foldable. So for example, if you look at my foldable, I have side, side, side. When I flip it up, I'm going to have a proof up here. We're going to leave that blank for now. We're not doing proofs today. Right? No proofs today. But I'm going to have you draw the picture on this part. When I flip up to side angle side, again, I have a proof. We're going to ignore that part. We're just going to draw the picture down here. Does that make sense? Okay? So let's go through all of them. Let's start with side, side, side. So side, side, side is going to be this picture. So please include this picture on the bottom part of what you have. So I want you to put this picture here. I also want you to get a different color of a pen or a pencil or something that's going to be a color that will stand out. Maybe you want a highlighter that will highlight something, that's fine. But for now, I just want you to put this, but you will need something else in a different color in just a second. Okay? Do me that favor. Put that there. Now, first of all, do you see two triangles here? I do. I see triangle ABD, and I see triangle CBD. Would you agree? And I want us to write a congruent statement. So let's start. So underneath it, I'm going to say that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle something else. And who remembers last time with the tablets, what did I say was super duper important about this congruent statement? It has to be in order, right? So we know that angle A has to correspond to angle something or other. Well, I don't know yet. So what we need to make sure we pay attention to is, first of all, I don't see three sides. I don't see side, side, side here, and I don't see side, side, side here. Well, what do I know? There's two triangles. There's two triangles, and those two triangles do what? They share something. What do they share? A hypotenuse. They share a side. It looks like a hypotenuse. I don't know that for the right triangle for sure, but I agree they share a side. And that's what I want you to put in a different color. Okay, so you can highlight it or whatever you want to do. But here's what I want you to change. because they share a side, I know that side DB is congruent to itself. We call that the reflexive property. And it's something that you always want to look for. If a triangle shares a side, like I have here, and again, I'm just going to highlight it. So this is something that we added to the picture. It didn't come with the picture, but we added it. Do you agree? And we can do that. Anytime it shares a side, I can mark it congruent to itself. I'm allowed to do that. So now, if I look at ABD, angle A is in between sides 1 and 2. In the other triangle, what angle is between sides 1 and 2? Angle what? So I know that angle C is the first one. In other words, angle A corresponds to angle C. True. How about B? B is the angle in this triangle in ABD. Don't mark that, by the way. I just marked it so you can see it. ABD is between sides 2 and 3. In the bottom triangle, what angle is between sides 2 and 3? Down here at D. Don't you agree? So D actually corresponds to B in the other triangle. I don't want those congruent angle marks there. This is B. Okay? I'm sorry, that's B. B in the other one, D in this one. And then the last one would be B. Good. So you always want to double check yourself, okay, that it's correct. Is side AB congruent to side CD? Is AB and CD congruent? Yep. You just want to double check if the order is right. Okay? Is BC congruent to AD? Is AD congruent to BC? Yes. So I know that I wrote the congruent statement in the correct order. Are we good? So we know what a side situation looks. And we know that if they share a side, I can go ahead and mark it that way. So what was the next one we said? Side, angle, side, right? We'll draw the picture. Again, only draw it on the bottom half because the top part of the flap we're going to do something else. Okay? All right. So this one, we're not going to do anything unusual. We're just going to draw pictures. Here are our pictures here. As you're drawing this picture, I want you to ask yourself, am I given all the information I need? Is there anything I need to add to the picture in order to make it a side angle side picture? Is the angle included between the two sides? Looks like it to me, don't you agree? I think that angle is. So this is an included angle, it is side angle side. So let's write a congruent statement. Let's say angle QRS is congruent to which triangle? We need to make sure it's in the correct order. So what does Q correspond to in the other triangle? It corresponds to Y. On the triangle QRS is congruent to which triangle? But angle Q, which is this angle up here, what does it correspond to in the other triangle? Well, Q is between 1 and nothing, so between 1 and nothing would be Y. Would you agree? So it goes Y, and then R corresponds to, good, and so you have Y, X, C. Okay. Good so far? Awesome. All right, let's keep going. Oh, any questions? No.
Yeah, well, you know, D is also between 1 and nothing.
No, it's not. D is between 2.
Oh, wait, I didn't see that because never mind.
Okay, should we try angle side angle now? Let's look at this picture. I'll let you look at mine. It's always on my, if you don't have it, it's on mine. You can look at the notes as well. So, angle side angle. It's on this flap. Again, only draw the picture. You're going to have to add some things that we know. picture. So I'll pause the recording while y'all build a picture. Do I have everything I need to say angle, side, angle? Not right now. I don't have any angles marked at all. Would you agree? No angles. But I know some things. Remember how before we looked, do they share a side? Do they share any sides here? They share a point. They share a point, but they don't share a side. So I know I can't use that shared side thing. But I do know some other things, and I recognize some things I know are congruent. Anything that you recognize that you know are congruent, just like on the picture? Well, ST and BT, those are sides. Those are given to us. But do I know any angles that are congruent?
Oh, yeah.
How about this? Do I know any, again, in a different color or highlighter or something, what angle do I know is congruent to that angle?
The vertical.
UTV. Because they're vertical. The vertical angles are congruent, aren't they? So if I see any vertical angles, I can mark them because I know that for a fact. So far we have two things we can add to pictures. We can add if they share a side, and we can add if they're vertical angles. Okay, so I've got two things. Let me write those two things down because they're pretty important. So I'm going to say one shared side, write it off to the side here. And the second one was vertical angle. Okay. So I have one pair of angles. So think about that before you answer. Hang on. We know it has to be angle, side, angle. So I know that the side has to be the included side. So I know, based on my picture, that I have to say those two angles are congruent. How do I know that? They're not vertical.
Because
okay. Okay. So I'm adding again this angle here and this. Really? I'm adding this angle here and this angle here. I added that information. And now I'm adding this information. Notice I use a different number of lines for the different angles, right? So I'm clear, these are the vertical angles that are congruent, and angle S and angle V are congruent. Now, what does the parallel lines, and again, do you see parallel on here? Those little arrows mean parallel, right? What do parallel lines have anything to do with angles S and V? Alternate what? Interiors, there you go. Yeah, when you have parallel lines, aren't alternate interior angles congruent? So I know that angle S and angle V are congruent because of that. So I know that. So if you're given parallel lines, we can say alternate interior angles. Now, I'm going to draw, don't put this on your paper, but don't I also know those are congruent for the same reason? But that wouldn't give me angle, side, angle, would it? So that's why I didn't choose it. Okay? So the third thing that you can add to a picture, and there's only three, by the way, okay? The third thing that you can add to a picture without any other given information is if you have parallel lines, then you can say alternate interior angles are congruent. Okay? We knew that. We learned that already. So let's write our congruent statement. Triangle SRT is going to be congruent to which triangle on the bottom? What does S correspond to? S corresponds to V, and R corresponds to U. R corresponds to U, and then T corresponds to itself. I agree. So these three things that you can add to your picture, I need for you to add them to the back. But there's going to be a special part here. So on the back, you're going to add a bunch of things. Can you just draw like a little box on the back of your foldable up here? A little kind of a little box. What do we put here? We're going to triangle congruent. So on the back, if you would kindly just draw a little box foldable. Okay? So these are the three things you always look for. Do they share a side? Do I have parallel lines? Do I have vertical angles? You want to look for those over and over and over again if you don't already have enough information to say angle, side angle, or angle, angle, side, or any of the options. Okay? So these are just three things you're going to constantly look for over and over. The next part of your foldable, once you have those three things written down, is I want you to add this picture. Next picture on angle, angle, side. The picture looks actually very familiar. Just add this picture for me. So this picture looks very familiar, but we're trying to show angle, angle, side this time. So angle, angle, side would mean that I could possibly add this angle and this angle. Doesn't that give me angle, angle, side? Remember where the side is not in between the two angles. So I want it to be angle, angle, and then a side. The side's kind of at the end. Okay? So let's figure out how I could say that. How do I know that angle N is congruent to angle X? Is it one of these three options that I could add? Are they alternate interior angles? Yeah, so I know that that's true. How about angles L and Y? Are they one of these three options as well? What is it? They're also alternate interior angles, just with a different transversal. So I know that to be true, so I'm going to add that information. So you want to add angle N is congruent to angle X, and angle L is congruent to angle Y. That's just the information you've added to your picture, so you want to make sure that you're highlighting it or using a different color to add that information. It's not something that was given to us with the problem. And then I want us to write the congruent statement. Triangle LNM is congruent to triangle what? What does angle L correspond to in the other triangle? Y, good. And then N would correspond to X, so Y, X, F. Good. All right, last one. Ready to fill it out? The last one is HL. And that is actually a version of side-side angle. Remember that side-side angle that I told you that was a bad word? Well, it's actually, it only works if it's HL. What does HL stand for again? Hypotenuse, right. What kind of triangles have hypotenuses?
Right.
Right, so it only works for right triangles. Okay? Only works for right triangles. So I know I have to have right triangles. But every time I have right triangles, we don't use HL. Didn't we have right triangles here? And that's not HL. We use side angle side here. So just because it's right angle doesn't mean we always use it. But we're going to look at it here. All right, so let me draw this picture. You tell me if I have enough information in my picture. I know I want to use HL. This picture with HL. Do I have two triangles? Are they both right triangles? We know that to be true. Do I have enough information right now to say HL? I don't think so. As you're drawing the picture, I want you to think, which one of these three extra things do I have? Do they share a side? Do I have vertical angles? Do I have parallel lines? which one do I have? The shared side. Good, Amira. So I know that in my different color that I'm going to highlight, I can add this information. I'm going to add that information. It wasn't given to us. We're going to add it to the picture. Do I have HL now? Well, I do, because it would normally be side-side angle, which we know is not a right way to prove triangles congruent. But in a right triangle, I know that hypotenuse and leg is enough information to say that it works. So hypotenuse is the line ZN, and CN is the leg, and so is IZ. So I know I have hypotenuse leg, so this would be enough information to say the triangles are congruent. So we could say triangle ZN is congruent to triangle what? How would it be in the other triangle? What does Z correspond to? So if we're talking about ZN, we're talking about this triangle here. Right? So Z in this triangle is between sides 1 and 2. And on the bottom triangle, what's between sides 1 and 2? An angle N. So I know that N starts it off. So it's N, C, Z. Very good. All right, so we're done with our foldable for now. What I'm going to do is pass around this. If you want to put it in, kind of fold it so it can go right into your binder. So we'll take it and we'll pass it around table by table. But everybody should have a baggie and a piece of paper. I didn't give you guys your piece of paper. So if you would kind of make some room on your desk for me, you can go ahead and put this thing right in your binder for now. We're going to add to it when we get there. We're going to add to it next class. So put this away for me for now. You do need to bring a couple of index cards next class because we're going to add to it. Let me get you guys your thing. So clear off some room on your desk. You're going to do kind of like a little sorting activity. So you have a little baggie and you have one of these little pieces of paper. And what I want you guys to do is once you have a clear desk, I want you to take all the little pieces of paper out. They're cut up for you. And you're going to sort them on here. Okay? So this is kind of like, these are all of your different classifications. So these are all of your options. Okay? These are before they got cut out, by the way. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take all these little things and you're just going to kind of lie them on top. Does that make sense? Just going to kind of sort through them. Some of them are very clear, some of them are not. Sometimes you'll have to, don't draw on the pictures, please. Josh. Look at me. Just show me some, honey. All right, go ahead and start sorting. The first table that gets something, that gets them right first, I will, I think I have both sides of candy bars, so I'll give you guys a both sides of candy bars, or both sides of candy bars. Okay? All right, so for the sorting thing, I will tell you that there are these many in each. That should help. You're going to have one to practice. I'm going to give you, like, on your homework, you have some that are similar to this to practice with, okay? What I can do is if this is a struggle for you and it raises your anxiety level, I can go ahead and give you a blank one, like a blank whole one that's not cut up for you guys to practice. And it would be helpful for you guys to practice for next quiz or test because you're going to have to do this for quiz or test too. So I'll try to come up with some blank ones for you guys to practice with. But for now, let's go through and check. We already had one group that got all their matches. Let's see where you guys may or may not have messed up. Please don't put them away yet, okay? So number one, let's just go through and you tell me what's the way to prove the triangle's congruent. What is it? Angle, side, angle. Good. Number two. Angle, side. Good. They share a side, so it is angle, side. I agree. Number three. Number three is a none, because that is a side angle. So that is a none. Number four, they share a side. That is side, angle, side. Even though the triangles are right triangles, it's not HL. Number 5, share the side. Nope. Nope. HL. There you go. It is HL. Hypotenuse leg. Hypotenuse leg. Number 6 is angle, angle, side. Number 7 is side, angle, side. Number 8. Angle, side, angle. Okay, good. Number 9. Angle, side, angle again, because we have those. Number 10. Angle, side, angle again. This one would be side, angle, side. And number 12. Angle, angle, side. Yes. All right, so those are our first 12. How did we do? See any mistakes? Do you understand our mistakes? Why they're in the wrong column and they're now the right? But let's finish it off. Let's go to the next few. 13 is HL. It is. The angle is a right angle and it's not included. 14 is side, side, side. It looks to me like when I walked around in your groups, you guys all had your side, side, side done right. That was great. 15, side, side, side. 16, angle, side, angle. 17, side, angle, side. Good. 18, good. That one is an HL. Very good. And this one, none, because you know that's not true. All right, we have a few more to go. All right, 21. Which is with angle, angle, angle doesn't work, so that means it's none. Okay, how about 22? No. 22 is none. Because look, if I mark it congruent, isn't that side, side angle? The angle is not included between the two sides, is it? Is side, side angle a way to prove triangles congruent? So it's a none. That's where most of you messed up, right? 23 is also a none. Angle, angle doesn't work. This one would be a HL. This one, angle, angle, side. This one is not HL. Side, angle, side. 27. That one's HL. 28. Angle, angle, side. The side is not included between the two angles. That's angle, angle, side. 29. Side, angle, side. That one is side, angle, side. This one is also side, angle, side. 31 is side, side, side. Oh, 32. None. It is not. Because they don't fully overlap. Okay. So for the most part, y'all did pretty well with it. If you would, I don't want my next class if you have an advantage and then all kind of be together. Can you mix them up real good before you put them back in the baggie for me? Thank you. Mix it up real good. So your homework, this is going to be the worksheet front and back. So the triangle congruence worksheet. And on one side it says the 4-2. So both of these are your homework. Okay?